We have tossed the coin and it is rotating. While it is spinning, it has multiple combinations of 0 and 1. So here we can understand what is quantum weight, and while it is rotating, it has combinations of 0 and 1. This having combinations of 0 and 1, this property is known as superposition. So first we will understand the basic definition of superposition. Superposition is adding things together. If you take two waves, if we add them, these waves are in constructive interference. Their both thrust and curves are matching. If we add them, then we will get a resultant higher amplitude wave. Like that, the basic definition of superposition is adding things together. Now we will understand this in classical physics. There is no superposition in classical physics because it has only two values, either 0 or 1. There is no combination. Therefore, superposition will not exhibit in classical physics. Either the close will open or the door will open or close, either 0 or 1. Bulb will be either off or on, like that. But in the case of classical computers, in the case of quantum bits, they exhibit superposition because it has combinations of 0 and 1. Here,
measuring of one electron immediately gives information of other particle, other electron.
Now let us see how this computer actually process information. First of all, the computer uses the combination of bits to process the information. Bits is the short form for binary integer. These are the smallest units of information inside the computers. Bits have two values, zeros or 1. It uses either combination of zeros and ones or 1 or 0. It can present in two states, either true or false, on or off, or low or high voltage. All the data in the computers like images, text, audios, videos, etc. are presented in the combination of bits. How actually computer process the information? The CPU consists of the hard disk. Hard disk is, in simple term, hard disk is made up of magnetic platters and read or write mechanism. It uses the combination of binary to using the magnetism. CPU process the information CPU process this binary information by using logic gates. Logic gates are in the form of binary only. They don't change the data type, but they manipulate the manipulate.
It produces an electric charge. Infrared filter. It allows only the infrared radiation.
Quantum state of a position, and we can know that quantum state transfers one particle from another particle. The two particles are linked by quantum entanglement. It is like transferring one particle appears as teleporting one particle from another particle, but the particle will appear not as original. It is a clone of the original. And the quantum teleportation is introduced in 1993 by Charles Benjamin, and he collaborates at IBM, International Business Machine Corporation. The first 1993 had been started, but he further it was taken by physicist Anton Geologist, and he introduced and he successed in teleporting the quantums by photons, and he demonstrated in 1997.
Next, quantum entanglement. So entanglement means when the two particles, it occurs when the two particles or subatomic atoms are linked among them, and no matter how far they are, and Einstein and Podolsky and Rosen, and these they argued that these effects quantum entanglement is incomplete theory, and Einstein explains about this Cooke action.
So the process behind this entanglement is, I'll explain you with an example. So let us consider a particle, and when a laser beam is sent into the particle, and the photon in the particle will get divided into two photons, and the photons have different polarization. One is horizontal and another one is vertical, and they become entangled. Entanglement is nothing but measuring the one particle will affect the other particle. And how hard is to teleport an atom? So quantum teleportation is nothing but there is a transfer in the physical information but not the physical body. As I said previous, the measurement of one photon will affect the other. The major issue is here, the measuring the photon is difficult, and the principle behind this measurement is no-cloning theorem. No-cloning theorem means it is an uncopyable. Suppose the quantum state changes qubit, and this changes leads to measuring the difficulty of a particle. So suppose if a particle is measured, it affects the fundamental principles like linearity and uncertainty principle.
So the fundamental quantum principles behind this quantum teleportation. So first the qubits they encode these quantum information, and they know basis of this quantum teleportation. And next the superposition, and in this superposition the particle is teleported in an unknown quantum states, and it is based on the no-cloning theorem. And next one is classical communications. Classical communication is a combination of two bits, and it is in the state of speed of light. And they have failed many fails and success also, but I am telling some failures and success. They had failed to higher reliability and suffered a huge signal loss in 1997, and also they tried to teleport the large teleportations, and because of the loss of photons they had failed there also. But in 2022 they tried to make the quantum network, but they achieved in 2020 for up to 40 kilometers. They didn't achieve through real life communications. They are on to it to achieve the real life communication, and also they have achieved the first quantum between atoms by Anton Dillinger in 1997. They also had in China. In 2015 they teleported the large light particles into satellite over 1200 kilometers from Earth to outer of the Earth, and also they have teleported over 143 kilometers of teleportation in our real life.
Human teleportation. As I mentioned, quantum teleportation is nothing but the transfer of physical information but not the physical matter. And the scientists have this quantum teleportation of humans. It is impossible because the humans consists of trillions and millions of particles, which is unable to transfer information, and the energy required to transfer information from human body is also very hard.
So use of quantum teleportation. This quantum teleportation standardizes secure quantum communication to the quantum key distributions, and it forms a combination of quantum internet and quantum networking, and it allows the state transfer between the distinct quantum computers without moving these particles. Thank you.